这好像有点 over。Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another session of Webinar Wednesday. Today we will be covering on Inspector and specifically Inspector Plus. So in case you're wondering what is the difference between Inspector and Inspector Plus, is that for Inspector Plus, this is our new addition, okay, something better that can only be found on the app, okay. So Inspector Plus can only be found on the app, okay. So if you haven't downloaded our app, what app am I talking about? I'm talking about the EdgeProp agent app, okay. So if you go to the App Store or the Play Store, it is EdgeProp agent, okay. Look for the one that is Singapore, okay, and then you can download it. And once you have the app, you'll be able to manage your listings as well as to use I would say about 80-90% of the tools available on the website. Okay, so the good thing is that Inspector Plus is only on the app, so it's really good for you on the go. Okay, because we hear from you guys that you hope to have more things easily accessible via the app. Okay, so with Inspector Plus, we actually combine some of the other tools, okay, into Inspector Plus so that you can use them concurrently uh, with the original inspector. So it's really like a super inspector in a way. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, hide this first. Okay. Okay, so quick disclaimer on the content, and if you are new to us, okay, these are the three ladies you should know, okay, or in fact, you just need to know one of them, depending on which agency you are from, okay. So we have three ladies here, Celeste, Zuki, and Sherry. They are in charge of different agencies. So depending on which agency you are from, you should be looking for them accordingly. Okay, they'll be able to help you not just for signing up or renewing, but even if you do come across requirement for help, maybe hey, which tool should I be using to get a certain kind of info, they would be the best person for you to reach out to. Okay, of course, if any technical issues, they will also be able to assist. Sometimes they may be busy, okay, or in the midst of a meeting or training. So we also have an alternative number that you can reach us on, which is the office hotline on the top left hand corner. Okay, so if you have saved our office number before, do take note we have just change it a couple of months back. So if you have saved it long time ago, do check update your contact contact list. Okay, make sure it is this number 69707793. We also have a office WhatsApp. So in case you come across something and you need us to assist you with, sometimes picture speaks more than words. So you might want to screenshot what you're looking at, and we'll be able to assist you better from there. Okay, so do save this WhatsApp number as well. So as and when if you need any form of customer service, this would be another number that you can reach us on. Okay. So we also have another WhatsApp, okay, so not to confuse you guys, but what this is actually for you to receive updates from us, okay. So previously we have tried to connect with you guys via Facebook, Telegram, but we do realize that WhatsApp is still the more better mode to reach everyone, because I'm sure all of you have WhatsApp and you constantly check your WhatsApp. Okay, at least in Singapore culture, we do use WhatsApp more often than the other platforms. So if you wish to receive updates on promos, on commission scheme, on news, events, or even on training, do add this number, okay, 88777305, or you can scan the QR code on the right hand side to immediately add this number, okay, save you all the effort from adding the contact number, okay. So just scan the QR code, and then from there you can save the number more quickly, okay. So do join us here, okay. This is a new scheme that we have. Some of you would not have heard of it yet, so this is the best time to join us so that you don't miss any good deals and updates that's coming along the way. Okay, oops, overshot. Now, today, like I mentioned, we will be covering on Inspector Plus, and Inspector Plus can only be found on the app, okay, EdgeProp Agent app. So before I actually move on to the app, let me just show you, okay, the website first, okay. So some of you might be wondering, where is this? Oops. Okay, so we actually have Inspector on the website. So if you are on EdgeProp, if you mouse over tools, there is Inspector here, okay, but it is slightly different from the one that we'll be sharing today, called Inspector Plus, okay. So right now I'm going to connect my phone to the screen so that you can see how Inspector Plus looks like via the app, okay. Okay, let me just toggle to the third screen. Okay, so this is my phone, very cute, I know. It's Christmas, so I have two little cats here. Okay, so the one that you should be downloading if you haven't had our app yet, it's called the EdgeProp Agent app. So you can see how the icon looks like, basically, okay? So I'm just going to tap on it. So once you are logged in, you'll be brought into the first tab, which is called Manage. This is basically for you to manage your listings, okay? If you want to do your reposting or creating of new listings, you can do it here, okay, via the app itself. But today for Inspector Plus, it is the second tab that we're looking at, called Pro Tools. So over here we have about, I would say about 80-90% of the EdgeProp tools here already. There's just a few that is not here, which includes Market Trend, Pricer, and Street View. These three are not inside the app. They can only be found on the website, okay? But for today, for Inspector Plus, this can only be found on the app, okay? So you can see very obviously right in the center of the screen, we have Inspector Plus. It is still on beta. Reason being, we are still adding new stuff to new features into Inspector Plus to make it better. And of course, sometimes there may be certain things that we're still working on, okay? So we still keep the old Inspector on the right in case you can't perform certain functions in Inspector Plus. You should be able to do it in Inspector, okay? So we didn't touch the old Inspector, but we implemented the new Inspector Plus. So you can use either or. Of course, the functionality wise, there's some slight difference lah. Okay, so I'm just gonna click into Inspector Plus right now, and you can see, not that I want to show you where I'm staying at right now or where is my location, but by default, okay, if you actually allow your location to be accessible by the app, it will actually identify your location. Okay, so of course, if not, you can just key in the address that you are looking to zoom in on. Okay, so one thing to take note for Inspector or Inspector Plus is that you can use, you can use Inspector for all property types. Okay, it's not just for signing up. It's not just for landed property that some people are very familiar with. Okay, but it is also for um, all other property types: HDB, apartment, condo. You can even search for, say, shop houses, retail, commercial, industrial. Everything also can. Okay, it just depends on. It's basically like depending on what property you key in, you get different kind of information. Okay, that is relevant to that particular property type. Okay, so over here I'm just going to use an example. Let's go to Rivergate. Okay, so I'm just going to type in Rivergate. So I'm using an apartment condo as an example. Okay, I'm going to type in, click in, and you can see over here, immediately you'll be brought to where Rivergate is. So it's somewhere along near Rivergate, River Valley area. Okay, River Valley area. And you can see 4 buttons at the bottom. Okay, we have the property report, the compare project, the nearby project, as well as the tower view. Okay, so if you had attended our last Inspector Plus training that was held via Zoom, you would notice that there is actually a new addition here, which is the 3rd button, nearby projects. Okay, so this is the first time we are actually sharing on nearby projects. Okay, so but we start off with the first one, which is called property report. Okay, so the first button, property report, I'm going to click on it now, and you will see that in the event that the project that you key in has more than one subtype, okay, you'll be able to select accordingly. So Rivergate actually has some commercial shops inside. Therefore, there's residential as well as commercial. I'm going to click on the residential one. Okay. And you can see over here, basically this is quite a number of headings. We have summary, planning decision, sales, rental, and asking. So this is actually quite similar to research. Okay, so if you are familiar with our tools, research is basically for you to generate all your home report. Okay, the only addition would be the second tab, which is planning decision. That was originally from the previous inspector. Okay, so for summary, basically it's a summary. Okay, a project fact sheet. In this case, so you can see where this project is, the address, the district, tenure, completion, number of units. Okay, pretty much stuff you find in the fact sheet. Okay, something more interesting would be actually at the bottom here, which shares with you the buyer's profile and the purchaser's address. Okay, buyer's profile by residential status as well as the purchaser's address. The second tab, planning decisions. This is basically taken from URA. Okay, and it basically shows you what was being approved. Okay, so basically, like for example, your contractor or your developer would have to submit their proposals to URA for approval, and if it is approved, you will see beside the date there will be a written permission. Okay, However, in the event it was not approved, okay, not in this screen though, I think, you will see another one called notice of refusal. Okay, so that means to say URA didn't approve the changes. So you will notice depending on the property type that you key in. So this is a apartment condo, and most of the time you will see things like new erection of building, um, and if let's say we look all the way when it was first being created, okay, here on the 5th of April, okay, maybe you look at that one on 5th of April, proposed residential development comprising 3 blocks of 43 stories, apartments, basement, car park, and ancillary facilities. Okay, so basically, if you're doing new launches and this happened to be a new launch, this is a good time for you to using this info quickly start to do your marketing. Don't wait until maybe your agency or your developer announce, okay, because this is already approved by URA. It shouldn't change too far, okay, shouldn't move away too far from this. And with this little bit of info you can actually start your marketing, be it on portals, be it on your own website, or just on Facebook or social media and all that. Okay, so that's very common for apartment condo. But if let's say you are looking at landed, okay, landed you will see more commonly other than new erection, A&A works, okay, subdivision of land, that's very common for landed. If it is commercial properties, okay, commercial or industrial, very often you will see just like the one on the screen now, change of use. Okay, so if let's say there's a unit number, it will tell you which unit changed to what purpose. So like for example, the first one you can see continued use of outdoor refreshment area. Okay, and then of course the other one for 0120, it is used as a restaurant. So you'll be able to tell which unit used for what purpose. Okay, if let's say it is a shop house, for example, you'll be able to tell first floor, second floor, what is the difference. Okay, so they'll tell you, okay, first story is used for cafe, second story is used for beauty salon, for example. Okay, then if we move on, the third tab will be basically all your sales transaction. You'll also be able to toggle to profitable and unprofitable. Okay, so if it's the usual transaction, you have the date, the unit number, whether it's new sale or resale, sub-sale, okay, the area, the price, as well as the per square foot and the purchaser's address. If you actually toggle to profitable or unprofitable, basically each row will show you 2 separate transactions, okay. So we look at the very first one on the 26th of October, okay. This one for unit 2014. Okay, so you will see a bought on and a sold on. So they bought on 14th October 2010 and sold it on 26th October. So they held it for a good 10 years. Okay, and you'll be able to see how much it was purchased for, 2076 per square foot, and sold for 2410 per square foot. Okay, so if you shift all the way, you'll be able to see the quantum profit, 424,000, how many days they held on to the unit, and the capital gain on a on a yearly basis. So this is the annualized capital gain. So they have held for 10 years basically. Okay, so each year about 1% growth. Okay. So same thing for unprofitable, and then you see the timeline here. So by default, we're actually showing you the 5 years, but you can also toggle to 10 years or 1 year. Okay, and on the side, we also have the chart. So you can see there's this arrow. So by default, we are in the table format, but you can also toggle to the chart format. Okay, so you can see how the prices look like for each month. Okay. So we move on to rental. Okay, rental, same thing. There's the timeline on the top here. You can toggle. If not, you can also toggle to the map format. Okay, it is also interactive. Okay, then lastly, the last tab is the asking price, which basically covers all the listings that are currently in EdgeProp, okay, for sale as well as for rent, okay. And there's also another format in a more table-like format. So depending on your own preference, okay, you will also be able to contact the respective agents if you wish to. Okay, on the top we have two more buttons. One of it on the top right, the one on the left one, okay, three lines with an arrow pointing downwards, okay, a triangle pointing downwards. That is actually your filter, or basically how you would like to customize your report. So I'm just going to tap on that. So you can see that currently the report is based on last 5 years, all the sizes, all the stories that and everything is shown here. But if you wish to make changes, okay, so I would like to generate a report based on another time period. All data would encompass as early as 1995 for the private properties, okay, because we get our info from URA for the caveated transactions. If not, you can choose 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. Okay, you can also set the unit size if you want to, the story, okay, and also the stack if you wish to. Okay, so if you only want to see all the transactions for a certain size, story, or stack, you can put it in. And if you wish to hide the unit number or the agent's name or number, you can do so. Okay, and also whether you like to look at the prices on the graph. So earlier on we have some graphs, right? So if you make any changes here, it will show you based on highest, average, or lowest per square foot. So with the changes that you made here, remember to click on the apply button, okay? And then the other button on the top right corner is basically your download button, okay? So if you click on that, you will see that based on your settings, okay, there's no specific unit selected. So if you want to select a unit, okay, that means to say we will zoom in on that unit to show you transactions only for that unit. You can do so, okay. And then also we have different sections of the report. So some of it, summary, planning decisions, sales, profitable, unprofitable, rental, asking, all these were what was shown earlier in the different tabs. But right below, under the include section, there is also the floor plan, fair value, nearby amenities, and nearby properties, which were not shown in the previous tabs, but you can actually include them in your report, okay? So I'm just going to show you how it's going to look like. Let's just select a specific unit so you can see the difference, okay? So I'm going to click on download here. And depending on how much info you have included, it may take some time to download the report, okay? But once it is done, it will show up on the tab that you can already view your report. And there is also a download folder where you can actually revisit, okay? So after viewing the report here, if maybe you come back another day to check out the report, you don't have to regenerate the report. You just need to go to the download folder, which I will show you where exactly it is shortly, okay? So I noticed that my very round face, nobody can see. Let me see. Wow, it's up. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we have the download success, and you see that there's a open file on the top. Okay, so today is the 9th of December. By default, it will be the very top one in your download folder. Okay, and you can actually do a few things. So you can either tap on it directly to see how the report looks like. Okay, so the first one would be your age fair value report, valuation report. Okay, so you can see here. Let me zoom in for you guys to see. Okay, so this is for this specific unit. So if I didn't select a specific unit, you will not have this age fair value report. Okay, so you can see here for this specific unit, based on direct comparison method, this is the open market value, that we are proposing. Of course, this is a desktop valuation lah. Okay, so how did we derive this 3.06 million? It is based on other transactions with similar units that was transacted recently. So you can see over here. And then, of course, adjustments were made based on the different factors. Okay, so different size, different time period, different flooring, different story, etc. Adjustments were made so that we can come up with a value that is as fair as possible. Okay, how did we come up with this algorithm to calculate each fair value? So over here, we actually work with two valuation companies, 3C Property Consultant and GB Global. They have more than 30 years of experience, and they are also panel valuers of HDB. Okay, of course, if you do need a more formal appraisal, okay, there is a number you can contact here for 3C Property Consultant. Okay, and then we move on to the second page, which is the floor plan. Again, only if you had selected a specific specific unit, sorry. For the third one, basically you will be down to the report itself. If I had selected a specific unit, you will see that we will zoom in to this unit to show you all the transactions as early as 1995. Okay, all these are based on caveats via URA. Okay. Now, something to take note, in the event I have selected a specific unit, the price trend and the price range volume, all these would be based on that unit only. If you had selected or if you had generated a generic report, okay, it will be based on all the sales transactions that happened in the project that you key in. So in this case, Rivergate lah. Okay, or depending on the filters that you put in. Okay, so in this case, because I have only selected one, I have selected a specific unit, the trend would be for that unit only. Same thing for the monthly price range and volume, that would be only for that unit only. Okay, for rental trends, it will still be an overall trend. Okay, so you can see that it's broken down into 2, 3, and 4 bedroom. Okay, we also have the planning decisions inside the report. So this is something new as compared to if you had generated your report via research, be it via the app under the property report, or via the website under research. Okay, so this is something that we added in, and so you can only find the planning decisions in the whole report if you have accessed it via the Inspector Plus tool. Okay, so other things you can see, this is how it looks like via the PDF document. Okay, so everything would be that we have seen earlier would be listed here. Okay, the only thing that is different. Okay, so if you remember, we can also choose to include the comparison and all that. So everything depending on what you have put in, okay, or what you have selected, you'll be able to see the preview here. Okay, so there is 3 dots beside each of the report. This is for iOS. Okay, for Android it will be slightly different, but you should have the same function that allows you to rename, share, or send. Rename, very easy. So let's say I rename this, I can just put it as Rivergate 9 December. Okay, update. Okay, so now you know that is the one that we're looking at. You can also share. So share would be via all your WhatsApp and all that lah, huh? Okay, and then lastly, send would be via your email, which would be they will basically attach the PDF into your email system already. Okay, so if I go backwards and I go backwards again, you'll be able to go all the way back out. So on this screen where you have all the Pro Tools, on the top right hand corner, that is actually your download folder. Okay, download folder. So if you click on it, this brings you back to all the reports that you have generated previously. Okay. Now I'm going back to Inspector Plus again, and now we would use the history function. So at the bottom, you will notice that there's this circle with 24, and we have Rivergate, Park Botania, and Topiary on it. So it is basically my historical search. So since I am looking at Rivergate, I want to go back to Rivergate. So instead of typing it in again, I can just tap on the history bar below. So we have covered the property reports button. Now let's move on to the compare project. So over here, which are the tools that we embedded? Okay, so if you are familiar, you can actually use this tool called location scan on the website, or the another tool that we have, which allows you to scan the vicinity based on a certain landmark. Okay, so since the property that I key in, or the address that I key in, is Rivergate, so Rivergate would be my landmark, and I'll be able to scan the surrounding of Rivergate, okay, based on the radius that I put in, up to 3 kilometers away, okay, and I'll be able to scan for all sorts of properties. So by default, because Rivergate is an apartment condo, uh, the system will be able to tell, and most likely you would be scanning the area for something similar. But if not, you can always make adjustments here. So if let's say I want to find the HDB is near Rivergate, I can do so, as well as select the subtype. Other things as well, landed, commercial, industrial. Of course, for Rivergate, I don't think there's HDBs nearby, being a prime D9 location. Okay. So if I have other requirements, okay, so maybe I am serving a client, and my client would like to find properties near Rivergate. Okay, maybe they're considering Rivergate, but they also like to see what other projects are nearby. Okay, so you can actually use the compare, and then set the distance radius. Okay, so if they have other requirements like the tenure, you can put it in. Okay, they only want freehold, they don't want leasehold, that kind of thing. For over here, you also see this thing called time period. Basically, what it does is, when you are comparing the different projects nearby, how do we compare? It will be based on this time period that you select. Okay, so later when I show you the results, you will be able to understand how this time period works. So for now, I'm just going to set as 12 months, but you can also set as 24, 36, or even have a custom time period tagged to it. Okay, you can choose to show the results in based on per square foot or transaction price. You can make adjustments to the price in terms of average, highest or lowest. If your client has requirement for a certain age, certain size, you can put it in as well. Okay, and then you can also sort by all these key performance indicators. Okay, so maybe my client is buying this property for rental yield. Okay, so I'd like to find out which of all these projects nearby, which one has the highest rental yield. So I can set as sort by rental yield, highest to lowest, for example. So I'm just going to click apply here. Okay, so within, I think I put, what did I put, 500? Within 500 meters away from Rivergate, you see that these are all the projects that are nearby, okay, to Rivergate. Oops. Okay. Okay, and you can see the details like the project name, tenure, completion, distance away from Rivergate, the prices. Okay, this would be the quantum prices as compared to okay, based on the transactions that happen in that time period you select. So just now I selected last 12 months. So if you look at the first one, okay, Martin number 38, you see that minimum, average, maximum is the same price, because there was only one sales transaction that happened in the last 12 months. Okay, as compared to the second one, which is the Avinia. Okay, that's the new one, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so there were actually 28 transactions in the last 12 months, and this is the minimum, average, maximum quantum that we are looking at. Okay. So there's also rental. Of course, if it is a new launch like a Avinia, rentals details would not be showing. It will show as 0. Okay. And then there's also rental volume, which is also based on the time period that you selected. Okay. So like the first one, you can see the per square foot is 5.5, 6.3, sorry, 4.8, 5.5, 6.3. This is based on this 17 volume transactions, rental volume that happened in the last 12 months. Okay. We also have rental yield, which is calculated using the sales and rental uh, average per square foot. Okay, to calculate this rental yield. So this rental yield is if you buy today based on the average pricing and based on the average rental, this is the kind of yield that we're getting. Okay. Lastly, the last row we have the capital gain. This is a bit different though, because what capital gain, uh, if you understand what it is trying to tell you, it is trying to say that somebody buy, somebody sell, how much they make, right? However, capital gain is hard to calculate if there's no official start and end date. Okay, because at any point in time, it really depends on when the person buy and when the person sells to calculate the capital gain. So what we do here is to base on the launch period, okay, the launch price compared to today to work out the capital gain. For older projects though, we will base on the transactions in the very first quarter of 1995, and we compare with the most recent transactions in the current quarter to work out the capital gain. Okay, and also do take note this capital gain is based on a year annualized capital gain. Okay, so if you see, for example, the first one, there's a negative 0.1. That means to say, because this project was built in 2011, okay, so now we are at 2020, so it is 9 years. So every year lose a little bit based on the transactions that have happened. Okay, but does it mean that all the units make profit or all the units make loss? Not necessary. Okay, maybe somebody came in at a different timing and sold at a different, just happened to buy at a low and sell at a high, and they can still make money even though it's showing as a negative capital gain here. Okay, so this is just based on if I had bought it during launch, or for the older projects, if I had bought it in the year 1995 as compared to, and I haven't sold it yet, and if I were to sell it today, what kind of gain or loss would I be making? Okay. Okay, so let's that now with all these tables here, there is a generate chart button below. So I'm just gonna click on that. So you can see here, same thing. Okay, so under overall comparison is everything that you have seen earlier. Okay. We also have the price comparison. So now this is all the different charts. So you can compare the quantum, or you can compare the per square foot. There's also rental comparison, the historical price trend based on the time period that you select, as well as the most recent sales and rental transactions. Sorry. Okay, so you can see all these tables here. If you notice, as I toggle, everything is arranged by date. So you can see here, there's an arrow, a triangle pointing upwards for date. You can actually tap on it to sort it, okay, and you can sort by any of the headers as well. So this is applicable for all the different sections here. Okay, so other than the charts itself, if I am on the overall comparison, I can also sort by the other types as well. Okay. Okay. So on the top, same thing, two buttons that you should be familiar with. One is for you to do your filter. So in this case, you would have to change, you have to go back to make adjustments. And the other one would be your download button at the side. Okay. So if you are generating a report under the compare report section, this is the kind of info that you'll be getting: the overall comparison, price, rental, comparison, price, trend, transaction, and rental contract. So whatever you have seen earlier in all these different tabs, they would be in your report. Okay, so let me just download it to show you how it looks like in a PDF format. Okay. Okay, so it's downloaded here. So I'm just going to click on open file. Okay, so you can see this is the very latest one on the top here. And I'm going to click on it to show you how it looks like. So in the PDF format, you would see that it is in table. Okay, so this is, you have your overall comparison as a table, price, rental, historical price trend as a chart, and then the transactions and rental transactions also in the table format. Okay, so if you are using this hand in hand with the property report, what is the difference? So when do we do a comparison? Most likely is when our buyer haven't quite decided what to buy. Okay, so you would do a comparison to say, look, I've done some homework based on this location that you are interested in. Okay, you might want to consider these other projects nearby, and this is how these different projects are performing based on say last 1 year. Okay, so after they have more or less decided, yeah, I think I still like Rivergate, or I also want to consider Avinia, which is the new one. Okay, then you move over to property report to look at the more detailed report on that specific project only. Okay, so this is the difference when to use the property report. In this case, most likely you use the property report when you're serving seller, or when your buyer is more or less confirmed that they like that particular project. Okay, if they are still deciding which project, then most likely you'll be using compare report to give your client an overall view on how all these properties are performing. Okay, in terms of pricing, in terms of rental yield, capital gain. So depending on what is important to your client, is it for own stay or is it more for investment purpose? Okay, and then after that, what other things can you share with them? So let me show you the third button that we just added just last week only, which is let me see, the nearby projects. Okay. Okay, so when we are at nearby projects, you can see that there is an option for you to turn on and turn off. Okay, so by default it is off. Okay, but if I turn it on, let me just toggle over here. You can select. Okay, you can scan the area for the property type that you're looking at. Okay, condominium. Maybe I don't want commercial. And how far away? Let's look at within 1 kilometer away. So you can shift the radius up to 3 kilometers away and click apply. Okay, so something that is different now is that we now have a circle radius with a lot of ABC markers around the vicinity. Okay, you can still use your finger to expand. Okay, and with all these markers here, you'll be able to tap on them to have an overall idea on what this project is. Okay, as well as the key info like the tenure, the plot ratio, the GFA, as well as the recent average price and rental. Okay, so you can actually tap on all these different markers here to tell you more about the projects nearby. Okay, if you are interested to know more, you can just tap on the project name. So I just click on Emerald Park, for example, and it will load the property report for Emerald Park. So now you see that my nearby projects is turned off already. Once I click on a project, and it will zoom into the project that I'm looking at. So on the top search bar, you'll now see Emerald Park, and I can actually look at the property report for Emerald Park. Okay, so this actually moves me away from my original search, which is for Rivergate. Okay, so that's nearby projects for you. You can tap on anything, or you can search the vicinity for the different property types as well. Okay, so if I turn it on, you can see again. You can set the radius and what you are searching for. Okay, lastly, we have Tower View. So Tower View, we actually have this tool as a standalone, but we also embedded it into Inspector Plus. So if you tap on it, you will see that the interface is slightly different. So this is actually Emerald Park, yeah. So Emerald Park has 2 towers apparently. So I'm just going to click on Tower 2. So you can see that most of the grids here, okay. So we have the left hand side, which is the story. On the top will be your stack, okay. So as long as a building has floors, story and stack, okay, that means basically a level and a unit number, you will be able to use Tower View, okay. So if let's say you are searching for landed, don't try to find the Tower View button, it will not show up, okay. So Tower View is only if it is a building with floors and stacks, yeah. Okay, so how do we read the Tower View? Basically, for example, 1401, the very first one on the top here, okay, the size is 1561. It was last transacted on the 29 November 2005 at 572,000 per square foot, 367. Okay, so everything you see in the grid is based on the latest available caveated transaction for that unit. Now, if you click on it, you will see that at the bottom there's this detail, so you can click on each of the grid to actually see if there's more than one transaction available. So apparently, for this unit 1401, there was another transaction that happened earlier in 12 February 1999. Okay, and the price is a bit higher actually. So at the bottom, we also have the floor plan. So you can click on the zoom to actually expand the floor plan if you want to. Okay. On the top right hand corner, we also have the download button. Okay. So you can actually choose to include the whole report. Okay. As well as the each fair value report. Okay. So if I click on download, same thing. It will actually allow you to view the file here, or if you go to the download folder, it'll be all found there as well. Okay, so just quickly showing you how it will look like, pretty much the same as what we have seen earlier for the home report. Okay. Okay, so we have the file successfully downloaded already, and all you need to do is click on open file. So you notice each of the naming for the 3 files that we generated earlier. One of it is called property report, which I rename it to the project itself. The one we did earlier was compare, and now this one is called Tower View. Okay, so if I click on it, same thing, we will have the age fair value report. So in this case, okay, this is a special case. In the event there are not enough supporting transactions to work out the age fair value, you will see that we will indicate as not applicable. Okay, so how do we work it out? It is based on direct comparison method, and there must be sufficient recent transactions that are similar in order for us to work out the age fair value. Okay, we have the floor plan on the second page, as well as how many times it was transacted, followed by the main report that you guys are familiar with. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up today's training. So we have gone through the 4 buttons that is only available in Inspector Plus. Other than that, of course, if you're not so familiar with the old Inspector, do take note, this is a map tool. So by default, we are always on one map, but actually you can toggle to the landlord, which is the MOKIM number or the TS number. Okay. You can also toggle to the landed planning area and all that. Okay. So all these different maps you can toggle and it will show you different results. If let's say there's a requirement for a legend, you will see it here. Okay. And then also we have master plan 08, 14 and 19, and lastly we have the building height as well. Okay. So same thing, there's a legend to tell you how this works. Okay. So with that, what I'm gonna do is to do a quick quiz with you guys. Meanwhile, let me answer some questions. Okay. So in the live chat, we have Donna. Is there a way to generate report in Excel format as well? Not at the moment. I think all our reports are PDF documents. Reason being, we don't want you guys to make any amendments to it. Okay, but of course, if you want to customize your report, you can do so by adjusting the filters. Okay. And Sheila, can we use this app on handphone or better on laptop? Okay. So let me repeat one more time. For Inspector Plus, this can be only found on the app, and this is how the app looks like, EdgeProp Agent app. In fact, I am connecting my phone to show you guys the current screen right now. Okay, so you should only be using this app either on your phone or your tablet. I don't think this app can be found in the laptop. Some of you guys have Windows app and all that, so that you will not be able to find it. So only on iOS or Android. Okay. So I hope that answers. So let me move back to my little quiz that I prepared for you guys over here. Okay, so if you haven't seen me for a while, okay, I'm going to toggle. Okay, so what I need you to do to join me for this 5 questions quiz, there is prizes for you guys. Okay, so I need you to go to menti.com, okay, and use the code 9110952. Depending on how many people are on board with this quiz, I will decide how many gifts to give out. Okay, and then so how do you get more points other than answering the questions correctly? If you are faster, you also get more points. Okay. Yeah, so do join us on menti.com. Open a new window or new tab. Okay, key in menti.com and key in the code that I have on my screen right now, which is 9110952. Okay. So I have one person on board, Mr. Crab. I have Miss Strawberry, I assume, right? Donut. What is that? Is that a puffer fish? Snowman, yes, very in theme for Christmas. I have a cake. Happy cat. Bumblebee, tiger. Is there a tiger? I think, yeah. Okay. So meanwhile, if you have any more questions for me, feel free to leave them in the live chat. I can do a live demo or explain to you. Okay. If not, we will wait a couple more minutes to get more people on board, and then we'll get started with the quiz. Because once I start the quiz, and then you join late, right? You won't be able to join. You'll be kicked out, okay, or you'll be stuck outside, not being able to have fun. Okay. So final call, okay, if you are still with us, please join us on menti.com and key in 9110952. Hong Li, I am marketing a few very old wall. I think you might be referring to something else, let me know. Yeah. Okay, once I hit 15, I will go. So we have 13 now. Or walk up. Okay. Only for walk up apartments, right? If there are transactions after 1995, we will have them. But if they are, sometimes all these old walk-ups, there's not much transaction. If the last transaction was before 1995, you will not be able to find them in our system. Okay, maybe what you can do, okay, let us know let your account manager know the address. I don't think you want to have the address on live showing everyone. Okay, so let your account manager know the address. We can check for you whether there's any transactions or not. Okay. Okay, we have 17 people here. Let's get started. Okay, so 5 questions. If you are fast and accurate, I'll give you more points, and then our top maybe 1 or 2 winners. Like I see how the results is later. Will get a prize. Okay. Okay, 5 questions, and the first one is, I think I just answered this right. Inspector Plus, can it be found on the website, app, or both? Okay, so most of you got it right. Yeah, only on the agent app. Website don't have. So website you will have Inspector. Why is it we don't have Inspector Plus on the website? Simply because actually all the different functions, right, be it compare or tower view, all these can be found on the website as well. They are just listed as a separate tool. So Inspector Plus is like an all-in-one, so that you don't have to go in and out of different tools when you're on our app. Okay. So we have 10 people who got it right so far. Well done. And we have Ariel leading, followed by 伟大的小明, George, Ronald, and DL. Okay. Still got chance, everybody hard fight. Question 2. Inspector can be used to inspect land for what kind of property? Is it HDB, apartment, condo, landed, commercial, industrial, only the residentials 1 and 2, or everything? What do you think? Yeah, actually this is quite easy, right? All of the above. So even though for this training we just use apartment condo as an example, but depending on the kind of property that you search for, you will actually get different kind of info. So for example, HDB, you can also get info such as the HDB ethnic and SPR quota. Okay, this is updated monthly according to HDB website. For landed, like I mentioned, you will see things like the under planning decision. You can find stuff like the A&A work, subdivision of land, new erection of building. You can get land dimensions. That's more useful for landed as well. For commercial, industrial, very often you will see change of use. And then if let's say it is a shop house, you will actually be able to see things like first story used for what, second story used for what is the allowable and the approved use. So that's special for private shop houses. Okay, so it is all of the above. So I think most of you got it right. Well done. Okay, so let's see who is leading now. We have I think okay, Ariel still on the top, followed by Ronald and DL. Okay, question 3. Which is not a new feature. So if you know how Inspector looks like, you should be able to tell what is the difference in Inspector Plus. Hint, hint, it is the different buttons at the bottom lah. Okay, what are the buttons at the bottom? Inspector will only have the map. Straight away you have to key in the address. Wow. Okay, so if you remember when I log into Inspector Plus, there's your property report button, there's a compare project button, a nearby project button, and a tower view button. So we didn't touch anything about land sales. Okay, so this is not in Inspector Plus. Maybe in future, but not at the moment, okay? So now, wow, suddenly there's a big change to my leaderboard because only 3% got it right. Okay. Oh, but actually I still have Ariel, Ronald, and DL on the top. Okay lah, they're very fast. Okay. Question 4. Planning decisions. So this is really unique to Inspector. Even before we came up with Inspector Plus, this is one very important section in Inspector that tells you what is approved and not approved by the government, so-called. So who actually decides? Yes or no, the answer is URA, okay? URA are the ones who decide on the planning because URA, urban planning, right? They decide whether, B2 can it be beside residential or not, for example. So they are the ones who will decide whether you can do certain things or not. So most of you got it right. Okay. So we still have Ariel on the top, I think, or maybe Ronald took over. Oh, Ronald took over. Okay, so we have Ronald, Ariel, and Money Tree. Okay, top 3. Last question. Last chance. Yeah, question 5. So you can see on your phone, there's an icon that I screenshot. What does this icon mean? So if you remember, it is on the top right hand corner. There's 2 buttons. This is one of it. What does it mean? Is it filter or is it a download button? Oh, okay, most of you got it right. So it is a filter button. The download button is an arrow with a line at the bottom, okay? So we have our winners. Let me see how the amount is. Okay lah. I today good mood. So we have Ariel, definitely you have won something. I will give it to the top 3. Okay, so basically all of you passed the 3,000 mark. Ariel, Ronald, and Money Tree, please take a screenshot of your own screen, okay, with your own name, icon, as well as number of points, and send it to us. Okay, so where do you send it to? We will have the instruction in the live chat. So we will actually take a screenshot, send it to us, okay, so that we can arrange for you to pick up your goodie bag. So what is in our goodie bag? A little bit of internal news. So it is pretty good goodie bag that we're having here. Sports bag with sports towel, cutlery set. Okay, worth quite a bit. Okay, I think there's tea inside also. So let's see how you can pick it up. Is anyone putting it inside? Okay. Yeah, Celeste, thank you for putting inside the live chat who they need to send the screenshot to. Okay. So you can arrange to pick up your goodie bag. Ariel, Ronald, and Money Tree, yeah? Congratulations. Okay, so if you have any more questions, feel free to leave them in the live chat, or if it's more personal, you can check with your respective account managers, okay? And then we will end today. Now, before that, also, quick promo, quickly share with you guys a promo again, okay? Okay, let me click this. Okay, oh, I ended up behind. Okay, so we currently have a promo until the end of this year, okay, which is a what we call Twin Deal Plus. So basically, when you sign up with us, be it for Pro Tools Prop Points as a bundle or at $599, or if you already have Pro Tools, you want to sign up for Prop Points, it is at $410. We will also throw in a free virtual tour that is using the Matterport camera. So this is a high-end virtual tour that is done by a professional crew. Okay, so if you want to understand a little bit more about this, please check with your respective account managers. They will be able to share with you guys the details. Okay, so Pro Tools is basically access to all the analytical tools. Inspector Plus is one of them, and Prop Points is for your leads generation. Okay, so you can use Prop Points to get direct leads from FSBO, that's owner leads, as well as featured inquiries, which is for buyer tenant leads. Okay, and then of course you can also get leads from your listings when you have Prop Points, because we will do additional marketing for you. Okay, so if you need more details, check with your account managers. And with that, thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you guys next week for Market Trends 2.0. Okay, bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Remember to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel.